Hey Crypto Bros, hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are and you're enjoying the current state of the market. Today we're going to be talking about BAX. We haven't looked into it for quite some time. There is still development happening there. We're going to talk about the weekly candle closure for Bitcoin. We're going to talk about the Bitcoin dominance. So there are some things that you want to stick around at the end of the video that we're going to basically be covering. I do sound a little bit different because I'm a little bit under the weather. However, we are going to be fighting this. We're going to continue to basically make these videos at Crypto Bros so you guys can actually stay informed. And if you are interested in taking these trades, guys, I do post them for free on Twitter. So it's an advantage to you that you go on there and actually follow me, because this information is time sensitive. So you do want to get head on in regards to these trades if you are looking to basically increase your capital and invest and put back into some of these long-term plays. Again, guys, so basically what's been happening with BABB, they're fighting on bringing in the BABB card out there to as many people as possible to bring in financial inclusion. Now, the BABB application, again, guys, if you are not familiar with it, does have 3 features in one. That is basically the money account, which allows you to basically open a GPP account anywhere around the world and interact with the British pound, the sterling. You get access to currency X or remittance feature in a stable fashion, which is pretty cool as well too. You get access to crypto, so you get Bitcoin, Ethereum, you get the BAX token. So these key critical coins that you want to basically have in your portfolio. Now, they are continuing to basically develop on regulated decentralized platform. And what this is basically allows, again, anybody who's basically a bank to basically plug and play into this, build financial products and services in a regulated decentralized manner. And with that being said, it allows you to basically efficiently move back and forth between the BABB app and their yet to come self-custody wallet. Just like how you have with Coinbase, they have their own self-custody wallet that basically connects to, the exchange, the Coinbase exchange. You're going to have that ability to basically interconnect between the BABB app and the self-custody wallet that they're going to be having. So again, it allows you to basically onboard and offboard, which is a pretty cool, neat feature, because in the past year or so, we've seen a lot of these crypto banks basically collapse and fail, and there's not many options out there that can allow you to basically onboard and offboard into crypto. So BABB is continuing to basically develop into this. I've tested the regulated decentralized finance. Pretty neat, pretty cool, very quick. And again, this is doesn't have an actual release date. However, it's going to probably most likely be coming out in the next year or so. But again, pretty cool stuff. Again, their roadmap is on point. And they're opening up, again, the card to as many people as possible to basically spend your crypto in the real world, because we don't have a lot of that, guys, right? You want to be able to spend your crypto in the real world, and I think BABB allows you to basically do that in the most safely efficient manner as possible. Again, let's go ahead and take a look at the chart. We haven't looked into it for quite some time. Again, because it's been an overall downtrend, and we saw the big hype. One of those top gainers again was BABB. If you followed my call, guys, you would have been up again almost more than 2,000%. A lot of gains that had been made just from BABB alone. And I told you guys to basically take some profits. You could have basically accumulated into this, because this is a long-term play for me, guys. This is a long-term bag, and I've been in BABB for a very long time, since 2018, the ICO phase, and what's been happening there. And they've never dropped the ball. They've still continued to basically develop. They still continue to do things overall, and I think this is good. The way they're doing it is they're doing it in a regulated, efficient manner, because a lot of these crypto, again, moved away from regulation. But, with BABB, they never shied away from regulation, and they've always tried to implement that as their model, right? And I think when you apply regulation, it does take time, guys. And I think a lot of people moved away from that, because, they were so slow with that process. But regulation does take time. And with regulation, you always need to ensure that you have things adjusted properly, because it can basically come back and haunt you. We've seen that happen with XRP. Again, XRP winning their case against SEC. We've seen, the things that are happening with Coinbase, Matic, and Cardano, and a lot of other projects out there. But I think, you know, getting these projects into your portfolio that you know are doing it more in an efficient manner, I think goes a long way, guys. But yeah, with that being said, we can see here, you know, we started that big downtrend overall coming to this particular support structure. We said, look, we needed BABB to basically hold this particular area, this trend, this, you know, line that you see here, this the support structure. But if we did fall below it, that it was going to actually act as a resistance, and that's basically what happened. We saw a big shift that brought, you know, BABB up around more than 100% and acted as again as a resistance, which was once support. You can see here at some point here as well too, this is where that swing low to swing high started, that big downtrending move in the price of BABB. So is the same thing going to actually be happening here, where we get rejected and then just start swinging down lower and lower? Now, what I'm looking for specifically is that we continue to basically hold this particular area, get some higher highs and higher lows on the lower time frame, and then once we are able to do that, we can come back, get some buyers on this end, because again, the development is not stopping with BABB. RE-DeFi continues to, you know, make headwinds with that, and the BABB application as well too. So I expect, you know, some movement to continue to basically happen with the price of BABB overall, and we can see that we're basically in the low volatility range. We're looking for basically expansion, so meaning there is a big move coming into this. Now, how that's going to play with Bitcoin dominance overall, we're going to look into that as well too. So building these higher highs and higher lows is very important and key for us to retry to retest that. If we can regain this area, guys, you know, just looking at this, there's not much resistance. You know, once we pass this particular area right here, guys, not much resistance. I do see BABB, you know, getting to 1 cent. If we are able, you know, to come back, retest this area, gather it into support, you know, consolidate trend a bit, and then breaking off from there, I could see BABB really going to 1 cent basically with what they're, you know, been building and doing. So again, yeah, that's what I'm seeing in terms of the price. We can see on the daily, we actually did have again a bit of a continuation into the downside of BAX here, because we are building, as you can see here, hidden bearish divergence, meaning there's a continuation to the downside. So as the oscillator makes higher highs, while price action continues basically to make lower highs, this is basically indicating more downside pressure to come in terms of in terms of BABB. So again, key area to hold is right here, which is around the 20487, and I think if we can maintain that, then I expect BABB to, you know, build those higher highs and higher lows. Moving on to Bitcoin dominance real quick, and then we'll move on to the candle weekly closure for Bitcoin. We can see here again, we've been talking about this for, you know, the past couple weeks. We've been saying, look out for this, right? Look out from the breakout again above the 50 percentile, coming back and retesting those areas, because what price likes to do, you know, once it breaks above key resistance area, is it likes to come back, retest it as support. You know, and that's what we're doing here. We're coming back, retesting as support, as you guys can see right here. And then, you know, we came as low so far around 49.5%. With that being said, again, we are currently, you know, trailing above 50 percentile for the weekly. And again, the only major resistance is really coming around the 53%. Once we're able to break that, you really are seeing a big leg up to the 60 percentile, which could spell bad for a lot of these altcoins, again, as Bitcoin will be gaining a lot of strength against against the whole market overall. So as you can see here, broke off, coming back, retesting as support. We can see the moving averages on the daily are basically continuing to move on each closure on the daily. But if we actually move to the weekly, we can see that the 21-day moving average is coming up to basically support that area, which is around the 48th percentile, and that is going to be acting as support even if we're to come back below 50 percentile and hold it as as a key support structure. And if we are able to bounce off of the 21 EMA, then yeah, you are most likely looking at those higher targets for Bitcoin, Bitcoin dominance. With that being said, let's just move on to the Bitcoin weekly closure. So we can see here we're currently trading, about $100 below $30,000 area. And we've been talking for quite some time how, look, Bitcoin needs to maintain the $30,000 structure. It's key psychological area. We're currently trading below that previous candle, this bearish candle that you guys see here, inverted, again, hammer here, trading below that, which is, roughly about $100 below that. And we can see the 21 EMA is sitting around 27,700, which basically aligns with our previous strategies that we've been discussing. Look, the downside pressure is still there. The bears are gathering a lot of momentum basically to shift this market down lower. And, that 21 EMA will be a very important factor in terms of, holding this particular area, right? Now, with that being said, again, we were talking about the 2-day volatility strategy, bringing us down to the key areas of around $26,000. So it's not out of the question. Again, looking at these targets on the macro time frame, zooming out, you can see, the bears are controlling this market overall. Is this setting in as a higher low for the next leg up, or are we going to continue to see this downside pressure? Now, we do have the FOMC meeting again coming out on the 26th. And we've seen that the hawkish tone that Jerome Powell has been noting over in the past month or so, saying that they're going to continue to basically apply pressure. Now, is this basically the last rate hike we're going to see for the year? We don't know, but what we've seen from the CME group and what they're predicting is that most likely there is going to be another rate hike in this particular one, and that there is a 99% chance we're going to see a 0.25. So with that being said, is the market actually waiting for a bit of a clarity stance in regards to, again, the FOMC meeting, and seeing whether or not this is actually calculated into the market, or whether or not, equities are going to actually do pretty bad, knowing that rates are going to continue to basically climb up. So I'm particularly watching the tone that, again, Jerome Powell is going to come out with, which will set the next quarterly stance overall. And we're saying how these FOMC meetings have been very critical for the past, year or so, because they've driven the markets overall. Now, however, are they going to stop, just pivot over the next year or so? Because if that's the case, Bitcoin is going to start actually moving on. This spells very good for risk on assets. So it depends on the tone of Jerome Powell, on the 26th. And how he's going to go about whether or not there is, or is this going to be the last rate hike pretty much from here on. I'll leave you off with this, guys. This is kind of like the weekly end of, looking at this particular charts and the candle closure and all that cool stuff. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Until next time, bros, as always, stay profitable.